Hi. It's late in the afternoon on Mindful Monday. And today has been such an interesting integration for me of applying the skills from my toolbox. The taking a breath, the slowing down, I statements, of living in the power of the question. So early this morning, I read a post by my friend and mentor, Dan Brule, and he was sharing how life had changed for him. No traveling, no in-person teaching, living on the farm, slowing down, and simultaneously literally reinventing himself. The message remaining the same, the way in which it's delivered changing. And I explored for myself, after several weeks of stillness, in essence, I have begun coaching and supporting my students again, totally in a new format, totally blending technology with a personal contact. And then 3 days ago, I had a friend who reinvented social distancing. And she really wanted ice cream. So she drove 30 miles to come to the town that I live in. We drove to a neighborhood ice cream place. And we parked our cars head to tail, so that we ended up with our driver's sides right across from each other. And we were the mandatory 6 feet, so we rolled down our windows, we got ice cream, and we sat and visited, almost like sitting in our living rooms. And I loved her inventiveness for how do you create and maintain social distance. It is one of the, I think, 2 times all week that I have left the house for any reason. And I don't know about anybody else. This experience of, quote, social distancing, in many ways, I'm in more contact with the people I care about than I was before. Because before, I'll just go in and see him next week. I'll just stop and we'll meet together for coffee. Now, every contact is intentional. Every connection is mindful. And I am really appreciating that opportunity to not only do it now, but to look forward to doing it in the future. And simultaneous with all of this, I completed reading the trilogy of books by the Arbinger Institute. So one was The Language of Self-Deception, which I shared several posts about. The one I just finished is called The Outward Mindset. And the first one in the series is called The Anatomy of Peace. And all 3 of them carry the same message about how do you transform relationships to create more meaningful connection, to create more effective delivery of services. And as I was reading them, I thought about how for most of us who are in some way entrepreneurs or independent contractors of some kind, we often measure our success by How much money? How much did we make? How much more do we want to make? We become very responsive to little slave jingos, or I should say little selling jingos, if you would. Don't be a wage slave. Don't do this, don't do that. Be this, be that. And I think about how when we think about ourselves that way, there is an inherent message there about the other. So if you choose to not be a wage slave, then what are you saying in your thinking about the person who picks up your trash, the person who comes and repairs your plumbing, the person who paints your house, the person who fixes your car? Are they slaves? And I started questioning for myself a whole journey that I made in and out of the entrepreneurial world many times. And I find that I would like to reframe that whole way of thinking and instead invite people to ask, where do I feel the most effective? Where am I the happiest in what I do? And what I remember when I worked for a check was I was always blessed to work in environments and delivering services that brought me great joy. I never felt like a wage slave. And when I owned my own business, I never thought of the people who worked with me that I paid wages to be slaves. So I think that in this time of slowing down, in this time of being home, in this time of asking ourselves, how can we move forward in compassionate, caring ways? How can we take care of ourselves financially, physically? How can we take this social upheaval and create something even better than before? So I leave you with a question that the book, The Outward Mindset, invited the readers to take. You can ask all kinds of questions of yourself. How can I do this better? How can I be more effective? How can I offer a better service? So reduce the question even a little bit more and simply ask yourself, what can I do? With my next breath, what can I do? Have a glorious evening.